Today we're going to work on Bakasana. So Bakasana is an arm balance. It's a level 1 arm balance, entry level arm balance. But we're going to work on a few stages of the pose to, one, build strength and stamina as we get into it. But also I want to focus on some foundational elements and some key alignment points that are going to help you in getting into the pose. So let's get started. Okay, before we get started, almost all arm balance require open hips, and this is why we do hip openers before arm balance. Typically for Bakasana, the first hip opener that we do is Milazzo, and generally because we're already in the form of Bakasana. So one of the things to be aware of when you're coming into Milazzo is just make sure that your feet and knees are pointing in the same direction. If you're not able to get the heels all the way to the ground, no problem. You can put a couple of blocks underneath your heels, like that. Or you can also roll up the back edge of your mat into a little roll and put it underneath your heels. So you just want to be comfortable in the pose, hands in prayer pose, open the heart. This starts our arms to get into the hips, get everything open. Next, we're going to focus on foundation. The placement of the hands is key to not only protecting your wrist, but also bringing the strength into the body and keeping the body stable. So we're going to put the hands on the mat, shoulder width apart. So when we talk about shoulder width apart, what we're actually talking about is the center of the wrist in line with the outside of the shoulder. So you just make sure that the hands have a sense of space, and also we want the fingers pointing forward so that the creases of the wrist are parallel with the front edge of the mat. And this just makes sure that this ensures that both sides of the wrist have a sense of space and that there's no contraction. And then she presses into the ground super strong. She's going to keep the knees on the outsides of the arms. We're going to use the legs as part of the power to hold the pose. Your legs are much stronger than your arms, so you want to integrate them as much as possible. She'll take a small bend in the elbows and then lift the hips up. Good, perfect. Now in order to keep the knees on the outsides of the arms, we're going to create a little bit of an angle. And the way we do that is by bringing the feet together. Yeah. So in the feet coming together, there's kind of an angle in the upper leg that has a place to rest on the arms. She's going to keep the knees on the upper parts of the arms and then lean forward just a little bit. She's starting to shift the weight into the hands. So you can start to stay here, just find your strength, get comfortable in this position first. And then we go into stage 1, lift the left foot off the ground. As soon as she lifted the foot off the ground, I can already see that her arms are working more, her upper back is working more. Left foot comes down, then she can try the right foot. Awesome. She's super connected. You see that the arms are staying in this, they're hugging in, they're staying stable. Bring the right foot down. Good. And then just sit back for a second. Good. We'll take, and she has the blocks there, she can keep them underneath the heels. Take a few rounds of breath. Chill out just a little bit. Okay, now we're going to go into the full stage of the pose, but we're going to do it a little bit quicker so that our arms don't burn out. Place the hands flat, shoulder width apart. So we're still looking for the same thing. And this time I'm going to emphasize something else. As you start to move into the pose and you go deeper into the pose, the inner edges of the hands will want to lift. Press those down. You want to make sure that those stay connected and strongly connected to the earth. Good. Lift the hips up. Good. Bring the feet together. So we've got the angle the same. Now she's already in the form of the pose. As long as she can hold everything together, she'll start to lean forward till she can feel the toes getting light. One foot can come off and then the other foot can come off. That's it. And she just holds it steady here, super strong. And I can see her arms are shaking, but they're not falling outwards. This is key. So we want to use the legs to help hold that energy in and then release. Alright, so as we wrap up, I wanted to give you just a little bit of a wrist opener. Whenever we're doing arm balances or we're working on the hands, there'll be some tension that builds up in the forearms and the wrists. So after Bakasana, you can do this, it'll feel good. Just tuck your thumbs into the center of the palm, and you're just going to close the fingers around the thumb. Make super sweet circles. And you don't have to go so big, and you'll start to feel it in the backs of the hands, in the forearms. And you can start to go the other way and also kind of work the wrists out as you do that. You'll feel it working through the backs of your hands and your forearms. Good. We'll do one last one. Bring the hands to prayer pose, and then turn the fingers towards you. And this is going to just stretch the undersides of the forearms. And you just go side to side, left to right. You'll feel this, and it's going to start to open up the forearms. If you have any tension in your wrists, it's most likely coming from your forearms. Good, and then shake out the hands. And then you're ready for another Bakasana. So thank you.
Thank you.
So that's Bakasana, and I hope you found a few helpful tips to guide you along the way. And if you're not able to balance right from the beginning, don't worry about it. Just keep working on it. Over time, you're going to get stronger. You're going to build the stamina needed to get into the pose. Thank you so much for listening and watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to live your truth. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. Namaste.